They think they're the first generation to feel disillusioned. That's how you know they're not. I moved deliberately through the classroom, the hum of whispered discussions and occasional giggles forming a familiar backdrop. The scent of over-sharpened pencils and faint traces of deodorant battles hung in the air. Some students tapped their pens in sync with the ticking wall clock. Others doodled idly while pretending to follow the annotated verse on the board. At the front, a slide flickered in and out of the projector's focus, ignored by all but 3 habitual overachievers in the front row. My eyes wandered from exercise book to exercise book, scanning for signs of actual thought, or its more common cousin, creative avoidance. Years of teaching had sharpened this routine into instinct, and today felt no different, until it did. Halfway down the second row, a pulse of restless energy caught my peripheral vision. Luke sat slouched at the back, far removed from the lesson's orbit. The kid had perfected a posture of studied indifference, hood always up, earbuds always in until the last possible second, and a talent for scrawling band logos or nihilistic quotes in margins instead of notes. His pen scratched vigorously now, an intensity that had little to do with the analysis of poetry I'd assigned, and everything to do with whatever grim teenage manifesto was unfolding in his exercise book. Curiosity drew me towards him. Luke was the quintessential class cynic, always keen to signal just how disinterested he was, his eyes permanently set to roll whenever my enthusiasm peaked. I peered casually at the side margin of his page, my attention snagged by a series of violent, jagged letters etched with dark fervour. "Mistrust to survive," I read aloud, my voice deliberately neutral, offering neither judgment nor admiration. Luke's hand halted mid-motion. He looked up, his eyes narrowing with a familiar annoyance, expecting another tedious student-teacher interrogation. "It's just doodling," he said defensively, subtly angling the page away from me. I allowed the silence to stretch just long enough to unsettle him before repeating the words more pointedly, almost lyrically. "Mistrust to survive. Avoid being burnt alive." Luke's eyes widened, shock breaking across his previously guarded face. "Wait, you know the song?" he blurted, voice rising in pitch. It always happens like this. They stumble across something old, think they've found buried treasure, and then try to grant you relevance, as if it's theirs to give. Like they're the gatekeepers of cool, not the latecomers to it. Years ago, a kid named Ethan tried the same move, different band, same delusion. He had written "Rage is a weapon" on his binder in whiteout. When I quoted the B-side, he told me I was weirdly knowledgeable for an old person. I tilted my head, eyes narrowing just slightly. "Let me get this straight. You're asking a 45-year-old who was alive when the album came out if I know the song? Is that what's happening here?" Luke blinked, unsure whether to double down or retreat. The others had started to glance over. "Congratulations," I said evenly, still locked on him, "on discovering an album 3 decades after it dropped. Next up, maybe you'll stumble across the fax machine and think you invented email." "So you think it's cool music, do you?" Luke hesitated, sensing a shift. "Well, yeah." "Funny," I said, gently leaning in just enough for my voice to carry clearly to his neighbours. You see, I've had students for decades telling me my music is outdated and uncool. He opened his mouth, but no words emerged. And now here you are, I continued, eyes locked in on his, the corner of my mouth lifting ever so slightly, listening to the same outdated prehistoric music I do. Congratulations, Luke. You've become just like me. But here's a thought. What if neither of us is cool? What if we're both extremely uncool, trapped in this endless cycle of believing we're pioneers, only to realize we're following well-worn tracks laid down generations ago? You're not edgy, Luke. You're not subversive. You're not dangerous. You're just late to a party that ended before you were born. Every generation thinks they're the first to snarl at conformity, but the outfits change, the chords shift, and underneath it all, it's the same recycled rage, just wearing new eyeliner. I straightened, turning away as stunned silence rippled outwards. And that, my friend, I looked back over my shoulder, is the definition of uncool. Walking back towards the front, I left Luke frozen, the realization visibly dawning in painful clarity. Around him, laughter started soft, scattered snorts and raised eyebrows, but quickly gained confidence. It wasn't mocking exactly. It was recognition. A low voltage shift in the room. The self-appointed arbiter of cool had been publicly declawed, and the rest of the class, sensing the tremor, quietly recalibrated their internal maps of status and swagger. Some of them would go home and listen to the song out of curiosity. Others would quietly scratch Luke off their internal power rankings. He wouldn't notice it right away, but the air around him had changed. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Your support helps me create more content just like this. And if you're in the mood for more, check out these videos coming up right here.